Hi everyone. Good afternoon. This is Auntie P. I know it's been a while. I was not around last week, so I couldn't drop any class, any lecture, couldn't do much. But I'm here this week to see how we can catch up on what we missed last week. I got some feedback that the volume for last week was a bit low. Please let me know in the comment section if you also experienced that so that we can keep improving. Your feedback matters a lot as it helps us improve. So far, we've done a couple of things in our classes. We've done discussed about the initials, we've done the introductions, we've done the finals, we've discussed also about the tones. And majorly last lesson, we spoke about the four tones and how a particular character could mean several things. And if you don't know the actual one you're working on, you might end up confusing the person you're communicating with. One other thing we said was the Chinese language is we wouldn't say it's difficult. That will probably be our next class now. But it requires precision in pronunciation and the fact that thankfully actually that they don't write in ABCs. For example, as you can see, one being E, move means E, chair means E, and 100 million means E. As you can see, if you're going to type that on the system, like I said yesterday, all you need to type is YI. I haven't changed your keyboards to Chinese English. YI. You'll be amazed at the number of characters. We did a sample last week, number of characters that will be out. You will need to know and choose the character that you're looking for. So it takes a lot to practice the characters and also know the pronunciation. Just in case you don't want to do the writing, maybe you just want to know how to speak Chinese, you don't want to write and you're not going to be reading. No, there are people like that. They don't write, they don't read, they don't interpret nothing. They just want to be able to communicate with Chinese. For example, say they go to buy things in China. I've seen a few persons who go to buy things in China and all they just want is the basic thing within that, business circle that they want. Once they know the ni hao, they know xie xie, which is thank you, and they know sorry, doebuchi, they know zaijian, they know qian, which is money, they know increase, which is a jashan or ja, if they know those things, it's okay for them. They just go and also Chinese, don't forget that some of them are beginning to speak even our Nigerian English, as well as the Queen's English, as well as also trying to practice. And then if they want to call the money they want, they just take the calculator and punch the amount they want, either in renminbi or in naira or dollar, as the case may be. And then they do the calculation. It's a bit easier now. But if you're within the school setting, and you probably would need to write. Thank God for the computer age now. You can use your computer to write, but you will need to know the characters you're going for. If you do not know the characters you're going for, you could write and then people may not understand what you're saying because if you want to say, give me one mango, you could end up writing, give me move mango. If you get what I'm trying to say. Instead of using E, the horizontal tone, you end up saying E, that will be like the person will be confused. What is give me move mango? Is that what he's trying to say? So the character matters as much as we are not typing in pin, which is the computer typing, the regular ABCs, as much as we're not doing that, we should not be carried away by not getting used to the character. So it is important that you learn. That's why I'm using the textbook. It's important that I don't just want it to be theoretical. I can go theoretical, just conversation, we just talk, and all that. But I want to help us understand that it is important that the tones are known, the character you're working with is known. And that's why we're using the textbook. I could say this was the textbook I learned with. So I'm showing you every chapter so you can read those things and see how it can help you. So for today, we're going to go a bit into conversational. The last conversational we did was just ni hao, which is the standard. You go to any new environment. The first thing you want to know is courtesy, how to say hello to people, how to greet people. And I said there are three golden things for me. If your golden words for me, for the Chinese, you meet any Chinese, these three golden words are important. The first one is ni hao. Ni hao is very important because that's the first thing that makes them, oh, she can speak Chinese. That is the first thing. Once you say Chinese might say ni hao, oh, their face brights up and they're like, oh, this person can speak. You might not even know the next word, but once you say ni hao, the spark is in the face, it brightens up and they start. Then share. Everybody likes thank you. After any conversation, any assist, there is this expectation of thank you. So the next one is thank you. That one is very, very important. Then the next one could be goodbye in the case of when you're done talking, whether you speak in English or you speak in Chinese, mixed with English, or you speak with Chinese, whatever you decide to do, when you have to go, you have to say goodbye, right? And you have to say we see again or something like that. So that is zai jian, zai jian. So those are the three very important things you must learn in Chinese, at least for the starters. It's very important that you know that. You know the hello, which is ni hao. You know the thank you, which is xie xie. And you know the zai jian, which is goodbye or see you later. It's important. So we did that in our I think, first conversation. So now we're going to go to another conversation. In this one, now you're studying Chinese, and when a Chinese person wants to converse with you after a while, at least using myself as an example, they would want to know if Chinese is difficult. So our lesson two is Han Yu Bu Tai Nan. Han Yu Bu Tai Nan. That is what it says. Han Yu Bu Tai Nan. Han Yu Bu Tai Nan. Han Yu Bu Tai Nan means Chinese language is not that difficult. Bu Tai means not too difficult, not that difficult. Difficult is nan, nan. And this word nan is interesting because we also have another nan that is for a male. So if you don't know the difference between the nan for hard, which is difficult, and the nan for male, and you write this when you wanted to say maybe my brother, no, not my brother, let's say my sister gave birth to a male child, you know, you could just you could just go and write the my sister gave birth to a hard child or a difficult child with the wrong character. It would take somebody who was at least, who could say, oh, he's not a Chinese, he's a Nigerian, or he's a this or he's a that, he's learning Chinese. So probably meant to write male. But some people don't help you think. They just take what, because a difficult child is there also. I hope you know. They can say this child is so difficult, he's so strong-headed. So the person could read it to that direction. Meanwhile, what you're trying to say is gave birth to a male child. So knowing the character, it's another part of the Chinese language that takes a lot of discipline. But as usual, the spoken Chinese is usually the first contact. Everybody wants to speak. So once they can speak, other things come up. So let's do the text and let's see. It's just short conversation, and then we pick out some words and see some things we could learn from the word. So this is the second conversation. So we are here. You're in class. Let's say the teacher and the students, or two friends. Let's put it two friends. You meet yourself. You said, "Ni mangma, ni mangma." If you remember, I told you one time that when you say ni hao ma, this ma sign, I told you it means nothing. It's just something like a particle noun or something that people put, or a particle verb people put, or now that people put at the end of the language to give it meaning and to maybe incite a question to make you know that, oh, this is a question. If I say nimang, nimang in some place, in some context in Chinese could mean keep working, it's okay, just keep doing what you're doing. It's not a question. But when I say nimang ma, the person knows I'm asking a question. So the things like ma gives us that, um in Chinese language. There are a lot of them. There is ba, there's ma, there's na, there's la. Those things either pose a question or complete a sentence, give us something that makes us say, oh, this sentence is completing. As we continue to go, we see how those things come in and we see how it's helping us. So when I see someone say, ah, ni mangma, Toby ni mangma, Chukudi ni mangma, what I'm trying to say is, ni mangma means, are you busy? Probably I want to have a conversation with the teacher. Probably I have a question to ask, and the teacher is down writing, and I'm like, Although I wouldn't use this for a teacher, because if it's a teacher, I'll say Lao Shi Ni Hao. I'll definitely greet the teacher first. Teacher means Lao Shi. I'll definitely greet the lecturer first by saying Lao Shi Ni Hao. Let's say he replies me back Ni Hao. Then I can say Ni Mang Ma in a polite way, in a way to say, please, are you busy? Or I can say, wo bu mang, I she wo hem mang. Then I can say, what you should, kei jiang ma. I'm going further, I'm going ahead of myself, but I'm trying to say, I have some issues I would like to discuss with you. Can we discuss? But basically, this is for two friends or two colleagues. Ni mang ma, hem mang. The reply is quite short. Usually, if I say, are you busy? I would expect that you would reply saying, yes, I am busy. But sometimes the Chinese language does not put some of those beautiful curtsy. Yes, not all the time. Sometimes their response are as direct as your question. Ni mangma, hemmang. That's how a Chinese can speak to you. It's like, are you busy? Putting it in the Nigerian context or in English context. Are you busy? Sometimes we even say, please, are you busy, right? But if you're speaking in the Chinese way, sometimes they don't put those please. Those courteous things don't really come into their vocabularies most times. And it's not disrespect, it's just the way their vocabularies are. So, where for example, say, please excuse me, or please, are you busy? Please, sometimes it may not come like that in the Chinese fashion. Not because if you do it is wrong, but if they don't do it, don't castigate them because it's also not like their practice. It's just they're direct. So you say ni mangma, hemang. So that's the person saying, are you busy? Very busy, you know. But let's put it in the English or in our own context. If I ask somebody, are you busy? And the person replies, very busy. The first thing I'm thinking about is this person doesn't even want me to talk to the person. But that's not true with the Chinese. The person is just responding to you what you asked. So if you have something else to ask, you can now say, oh, can I, for example, you can say, oh, okay, but please, can I have 5 minutes of your time? The person can say yes. Okay, again, the person can say, how. If Enjon, give me 1 minute, let me quickly tidy up. Or the person can say, ha, Jehovah. The person can just look at it. It's not to say it's rude, it's just trying to tell you, you ask a direct question, I'm giving you a direct answer. So let's keep it to the conversation anyway, just trying to make us know because we've seen situation where we converse. You don't even say please, you don't say thank you in something. I'm like, hello, the context doesn't call for me to say thank you. All this politeness, they don't consider it as anything. But let's stick to the lecture and let's see. Ni mangma, hemang, hemang. What are we doing here? We're trying to see the different tones. Now, usually the third tone, which is the down up tone, when it is used, or not even when it is used, most times it is used with the second tone, meaning ni is a third tone word. When you want to use ni, it is either used with the second or the third tone. Commonly, okay, let me put it this way. Commonly used with the second or the third tone as the next word. And when that occurs, it sometimes sounds like the second tone, as against sounding like ni mangma. Ordinarily, if I were to pronounce this, it doesn't say ni mangma. You can see me say ni mangma. So it just looks like the ni is as good as ni. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Whenever you use the third tone as the first word, in this case, ni, in this case as well, han, it is the third tone. Usually, they are commonly used with another third tone or another second tone. Commonly used. You hardly use them with the first tone or the last tone. Now, when you use them like that, it sometimes comes out as sounding as the second tone, but it is still the third tone. It is just for the purpose of conversation, it may look like that. Ni is ni, but whenever you want to speak ni mangma, you can't say ni mangma, no, or ni mang, you just go straight ni mangma. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a third tone. But because of the usage in sentence, it might sound as the second tone. The same thing with hen, hen mang, hen mang, mang, hen mang, hen mang. So the same thing with mang. So they didn't interpret these words here, but I'm interpreting it. Ni mangma means, are you busy? Mang means, I'm busy. Then the second one is, Han yu mangma. Han yu mangma. Han yu nanma. Han yu nanma. Down third. Han yu nan ma. Han yu nan ma, meaning it's Chinese language difficult. It's Chinese language difficult. And the response is bu tai nan. Bu, second tone. Tai, fourth tone. Nan, second tone. So let's learn new words. Mang. Mang means busy. Ma means, like I said, it's a particle used, a particle noun, particle verb used at the end of a sentence to indicate a question. Hen means very. Hanyu means Chinese, Chinese language. Nan means hard or difficult. Tai means excessively, too, over. Any of those words, they are all the synonyms. Baba. You can see my pronunciation of baba. It's not baba, it's baba. The other ba is toneless. Toneless doesn't have any tone, which means father. Mama. Mama is a first tone. Mama, mom. Ta. This character for ta is the one used for males only. There is a character for female. There's a character for male. There's a character for things. And they all means ta. And they are all first tones. So you can see why it is very important. They all means ta. And they are all of the first tone, but they mean different things. The one for the male has a different character. Now, this character, this second character, though this is one character, but it carries two different characters put together, if you want to put it that way, compared to this one that I was talking about. You can see this nan that is a male, and it has the same tone, which is the second tone as well. When they say an yu nan, you can see an yu nan man. This is also another nan, which means difficult. It's still the second tone. So the tone is the same. The character is, the tone is the same. The pinyin is the same. You must know the character, else you make a mistake. Nan means male. So for males, they use this star for him, for he. That's it. Then for females, you can see this character, this second character by the side, this one, this character by the side. That particular character by the side is common with all of them. The difference is the first character in front. If you look at mama, you will see this character in front is the character used for female. So anywhere you see it, know what they are attributing that thing to is a female. It could be a female person, it could be a feminine thing. So they put it in that context. So even if you're confused, you can easily tailor it and say, oh, this looks like something with a woman or a female or something. So you can see it in mama, you can see it in ta, which means she or her. You can also see it in mei mei. You can see it in mei mei. Mei mei means younger sister. You see it in mei mei. You see that it has the female in front of it with another character that gives it its name. So this first character gives the identity. Then the other one may help with the pronunciation. In some cases, it's like that. Particularly for females. So whenever you see this character in front of any word in Chinese, know that it is tied to a female. So let's continue. So you have the ta. You have the ta as well for. Then you have the nan. I just told you about this. Then this is gug. Gug. First tone means elder brother. D. The second D doesn't have any stoneless. G. Second G is stoneless as well. Mei. Fourth tone, younger sister. We'll soon see the elder sister. Elder sister is Jie. So, but it's not here for the purpose of this. So this is learning new words. This is how we learn the character, the pinyin, and the English meaning. That is why, like I said, I'm using the textbook. It helps you learn new words. You see the character, you see the pinyin, and then you see the English meaning. It helps you write. I would expect that there will be journals where all these things are written and practiced so that they are not forgotten. Truth is, language not practiced will be forgotten. So we'll go back to some of the finals we did the last time. These are the different initials, and these are the finals that can go for what initial. For example, you cannot see a TEN, you cannot see a FONG, MONG, PON. Well, you could see a PONG in ping pong, but that pong doesn't have any meaning particularly. It's just table tennis, right? Then BONG, you may not get to see those ones. You may not have LENG, TEN, LEN, you know. So those ones, this table just tells us finals that can be used with initials. There are some characters. If you write if you write TEN in Chinese, it doesn't really mean anything because there's really no character. They'll rather bring TENG for you, so that maybe you omitted the G. You know, that's just the way it works. There's some finals you can't use with some initials because it doesn't mean anything in Chinese language. So the pronunciation as well, just like you have the English phonetics, those things matters in this pronunciation. You know, as you can see, the O in this is pronounced as you. It looks like you, sounds like you. You know, instead of O, it looks like u, but it's not u. It's going to be because of the ng, right? For example, if you want to, let's say don, like this, don, on, you know, it's just the way it sounds in terms of the pronunciations and all that there is. So let's see some exercises. These are 4 different characters, and they want to see which one, or rather 4 different tones with similar pinyin, to see which one means in the new words we have learned today. So you have ta, 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 ta. We are on ta, which is the e or the him, the she or the her. You have man, 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 which is busy. You have the an, an, an. We are dealing with an, which is very, too, excessively, and all that. No, very, very. Nan, 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 nan. You can use this nan to either mean male or difficult. It's the same pin. It is only the character that can differentiate. Han you, han you. This is an, han, han you, which is Chinese language we learned today. Baba, baba, baba. Baba is the 4th tone. We have the ba. The last time we spoke about ba, which has to do with, you have the ba, which is to pull, ba, ni ba, to remove something, to pull. You have the ba, which is to target. No, so this is ba, is father. And then you have the ba as well. So different. So we're dealing with the baba, which is the father. Ma, which is for mom. You have the ma, which is, I think the last time we did, we have the horse. Horse could also mean ma. Maha is horse. Then the ma is to, no, ma is to discipline somebody, which is the 4th tone. We did it the last class. But this, we are dealing with the 1st tone, which is mama. Then you have g, 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 g. G is elder brother. G. You have the g. You have the g. You have the g. So you have the g. So it's g, 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 which is elder brother. May, may. May is the 4th tone. May, may. May, may. So that's the 4th tone. Then you have the DD as well. But all these are different things. So you need to know which character you're going for. And it is because when you write this, if you put the DI on your keyboard, it will show you different characters. You need to know the character you're working on. You see some places they wrote natural tones. Natural tones are like this ma in this mama, g g, ta d, the. The there is a natural tone. Men is a natural tone. The, ma, the. That was what I was trying to say. Particles that end something. Nine, 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 nine. This grammar. So this nine, ma, l, d, may, ma, l. All those things are natural tones. All those things are natural tones. When they talked about the half third tone, is what I was explaining, that they mostly are used with the second tone. And whenever you use them with the second tone, the third tone looks like you're only pronouncing the second tone, which is the top. The third tone is the down up tone. So when you're using it in sentences, particularly when you're using it with the second and the third tone, it could also imply with the fourth and the first, but it is mostly used, say, with second and the third. Most times, you have to, it sounds like it is not down up. You don't have to say hangao. You say hangao, hangao. It just looks like it's the second one, hangao. You know, henan, henan. It makes it look like it's not a hun. It's supposed to be hun, 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 down, up, hun, hun, hun. But when you're going to pronounce it, it's just going to be hun, hanan. So that's why they call it a half third tone. Because there are sometimes in sentence you don't get to pronounce that down, up in the language or in the pronunciation before it is done. You just know that that is how it is. Now, these are sentences now. Say, ni hao ma. Say read and learn. So this A is ni hao ma. I think if we have been writing our new words by now, you will know the character for ni. This is why I said you need notes. It's not just talking. If I want to be theoretical, I won't use textbook. The textbook will be on my table. I'll read from it and just speak into the screen. But I'm taking time to use the textbook because I want us to get familiar with it. So it's important. So ni hao ma. By now you should know the ni character, the hao character, and this ma character being the natural tone. And then hen hao. Hen hao means very good. Hen hao. We just learned some new words today. Hen hao. Ni mang ma. Hen mang. Han yu nan ma. Han yu bu nan. Han yu bu nan means Chinese is not difficult. But when I say Han yu bu tai nan, means it's not so difficult. It means there is difficulty, but it's not so difficult. So these are the pinyin of the questions that we have. Ni mangma, han yu nanma, ni baba haoma, ta mangma. So let me explain this one. Ni mangma, the last time we said hemang. Han yu nanma, you can either say han yu bu nan, or you can say han yu butai nan, or han yu nan. You don't even want to say butai. Butai means not to. But then I say han yu henan means Chinese is very difficult. Ni baba haoma. Is your father fine? Is your father good? Or baba hen hao? You respond that way. And then ta mangma. Is he busy? Ta buma. He is not busy. Or ta hemmang. He is very busy. Or ta butai man. He is not so busy. So these are some texts that we can learn from the second conversation. Like I said, we are getting into the conversational part, and it is in the conversational part that we learn new words. It's important that we write out these new words so that we get used to them, because the truth about it is, except we just want to converse, so we might just need the tone, the pronunciation of some words, but even at that, you still need to write those words. Even if it's going to be in pinyin, you need to write those words down. But if you want to know how to type those words, peradventure you have a Chinese friend and when you're using your WeChat, you want to type, it's important to practice those words get familiar with the characters you would like to use for your conversation. Thank God there's Google. Thank God there's AI. If you're not sure, you can at least type the PIN. So either way, you need to know the PIN or the character. At least, well, some people will say, what if I know the English word? I'll just write the English word and translate. Yes, that could be it. But sometimes uh, synonyms of some words might also cause some confusion. It could help, but it could cause some confusion. So knowing exact, it's better. That will be all for today, and we'll wait for the next class, which will be next week by God's grace, and we'll see. And that will be in a new month. We'll see. I'll look through what we've done and see some of the things that people would like to know, people would like to see, people would like to deal with. Chinese language 不太难，汉语不太难，真的不太难。你有时间你练习，可能会好一点。但是如果你没学习，你没看书，你没读书，可能会难一点。所以我告诉你们，你们回去的时候必须把这个所有今天已经教你们的课学习。如果下次有问题的话，可以在写问题还是写东西的写字的东西，YouTube，在我的 YouTube 下面可以写，我看看可以回复你们。谢谢你们。Thank you so much for today's class. See you in the next class. I decided to speak Chinese. As we move, probably be speaking less English and practicing my Chinese with you. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Love you. See you next class. Bye.